So, Leonardo and Francesco, thanks for joining us here at the IRNOP conference and really enjoyed your speech about Project Legacy.
Thank you very much. Yes, this is a project that recently started in collaboration with Pernambuco University in Brazil. So we got a small research grant which allow us to look to a big mega project. And actually we talk about the social value, social effect of project, but how to actually assess such impact, if not years after the project is completed. So the idea to look into the concept of legacy and basically how this concept was not really well developed in the literature.
No.
So,
and this is a rather long-lasting project, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It was the port of Brazil?
It is the port of Suape in Brazilian northeast state of Pernambuco.
Is it close to Recife? Or?
Yes. It's beside Recife, the state capital. And today is the fifth biggest port in Brazil.
And when did it start?
It started operation in 1983, but it is a 80 years program. So we now halfway. We have 40 years now, 40 years to go. The ports operate today with 11 piers, but the project, the planning is to operate with 33.
Okay, so this is a mega hub now for transports.
Yeah, it's the biggest hub in Brazil for bulk liquid and for vehicles.
Okay, and you've been watching the effects after the project. I mean, it's during, but the first time now. And what do you see then?
Well, it's a really controversial case, right? We have data that spans, of course, over 40 years of operation. This is a mega project that keeps expanding. Became operational in 1983. So we got like 40 years of data to see how the legacy, so the structural change on society is actually manifesting today. And what is really interesting about this case, that the economic value of the case goes up. Yeah. So it is a machine that makes money.
A lot of.
But then the condition of the local communities impacted by such project still very, very bad. So they're still living in poverty, high level or basically unemployment, very uneducated, illiterate people still there. So you can see how actually those money are not flowing to communities. No. Those communities were excluded from the development process of the mega project. They were not embedded into the project.
And there were ideas about positive effects, but they didn't occur then.
Exactly. What we call in our paper, missed opportunities and social value dissipation. You could see how the project promised to the communities a better life, which never materialized. So for that reason, this value that was initially created by the project through the time, because no communication and representation with the local representative went to disappear, what we call value dissipation.
Can you give an example of the negative impact for the local society there?
Many of them do not have proper housing. They have problems with no sanitation or no running water.
Okay.
The schools that were built at the beginning, they do not have the proper investment. So with the time, the quality goes down.
Okay.
So the community is, how can I say, they are looking for jobs in below average jobs. In terms of money, they looked for the gardening, security jobs, all this kind of things, or to do food to sell on the beach, but not to work in the industries in the port or with that kind of stuff.
Those other jobs are taken by people who move
outside, for outsiders, and that makes a problem because there are over 50,000 outsiders, people from other states, include other countries. Yeah. A lot of Chinese or Thailand people who come there. So it's an interesting case.
Yeah. Basically, those opportunities were not captured by local communities, right? So the project promised in the end training for allowing communities to be embedded in the project. And when the construction started, they realized the training was too late or ineffective, so those local communities were not actually able to work in the project. No. So they had to recruit people outside the region. Those 50,000 men in the same location open up for an area where prostitution, abuse, drug and alcohol abuse were actually manifested. So also security of the area was under control, not under control. And so the shared responsibility between Suape as an organization and the local authorities were actually not matching and conflicting, opening up to this disengagement of local communities and not materialization of benefit that we all expect from mega project.
And how has your research been received then? Because it's pretty harsh findings, I would say.
To be honest with you, really positively, right? So the state of Pernambuco, basically the Suape port, is really interested to collaborate with us, see what the results are, and see how they can improve. Because now the new master plan is about to be approved. 2022 was when he started to work on that, and now the port is required by law to engage with communities. So they need to include social sustainability practices, social value practices. And they're really interested to know, how we can contribute through research to the practice.
And even one of the director of the project asked us about the results of the paper to read and to engage with the communities. They talking about that openly, about the necessity to go to the communities and to participate with them.
Improve the situation.
And I guess that one thing is to think about the legacy ahead somehow, right?
Yeah.
So have that in mind, because I do think it's been used in sports now when we build arenas to ensure that there is a secondary kind of use for them and not just for the Olympics. So in different fields it's coming. And I think you also highlight that even in, slightly easier conditions, we should think about this so the local community is involved and get some positive effects and not just standing on the sideline.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes. I was really surprised to see in the literature that studies on a legacy were made, project legacy, but mainly on the sport events, Olympics or Winter Games. But all the study data that were shown were just straight after the project. It was about impact rather than no structural change to society. So we go back 40 years.
40 years.
And to see after 40 years how a mega project actually is impacting communities. And in this case, I'm afraid to give a very dark side of the picture. It's not that we can generalize those findings because, different political and economic conditions will make an impact. But there are, many different cases which I believe, we can have the same output. So we should take into consideration this learning, specifically from this case, to see how can we improve things.
So thanks a lot for sharing. Really interesting and so vast ambition on this study you've made. So thanks a lot for joining us here and taking part on IRNOP.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.